Cloud. All right, I got a chat. Yeah. Yes, hit record. Okay, let me admit these folks. The folks I just admitted, hopefully they are able to see to change their name on the Zoom list. Please, next to your name, please add your student's name. Okay, this is a presentation overview. I'm hopeful that my supervisor, Christiana Moen, can hop on and just go over the overview.
Hi, everyone. This is Christiana here, and tonight we'll be running through some logistics connected to our housing operations and helping folks understand the flow of what move-in looks like, policies and procedures for what that day looks like for each of the respective buildings, logistics of parking and flow for that. We'll also dive into meal plans and dining, whether your student is required to have a meal plan or is looking to opt into a meal plan. There's also some great information connected to safety and parking, both for day of move-in as well as for the semester, and getting those parking permits purchased as we dive into the fall semester. Cougar Care Network and some information about sustainability will round out our session as we talk a little bit more about family programs. And then if you want to utilize the chat, you can for questions. We will also wrap up with Q&A. If we can't keep up with the questions in the chat, that Q&A at the end will certainly be the most helpful method of getting your questions answered.
Awesome. Thank you, Christiana. Okay, the star of our show this evening is Jeremy Williamson from Housing. Take it away, sir. You might be muted.
I think we have to unmute him.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you can hear me now. Again, my name is Jeremy Williamson. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about preparation for move-in. This is a really exciting time for everyone on the call, and so we hope you're excited to come in and join us on move-in days. I'll give you a little brief about the housing team. Travis Douglas is our Executive Director of Housing and Residential Education. He sends his hello. Ali Serrano is also a part of our team. She's the Director of Residential Education. She supervises those resident assistants, those student staff that'll be really the resource, the first point of resource for your students as they move in. And again, I'm Jeremy Williamson, the Director of Facilities and Operations. And so just so you know and are aware of the resources we have to offer, the Live On staff consists of 4 resident directors. Those are professional level staff that really supervise the resident advisors and residential peer mentors. They all kind of directly are supervised by Ali Serrano. There's those 35 resident advisors, again, really there as a resource to help assist your students as they get acclimated to campus and housing. We have 8 residential peer mentors. These are also student staff that are really there with a more academic focus. And so resources, again, for your students as they try to figure out the types of resources they need to help them thrive in the classroom. Now, on the operations side of the house, this is kind of my area. We have 1 associate director of operations and conferences, 1 assistant director of marketing and licensing, 2 accounts coordinators. These are the folks that are going to be handling your student accounts and on the housing side, and then 3 licensing and office coordinators. These are the professional staff that'll be at each front desk of our communities. And then we have 6 maintenance staff across the site. And so that's a little brief overview of the housing team. And again, we're all here to help make sure that you all have a positive move-in day. And then just in general, as your students are staying with us throughout the academic year, just making sure that they have a really positive experience and that you have confidence that we're going to do what we need to do to ensure that that happens. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some housing policies and procedures. All members of our housing communities have a responsibility to uphold the housing policies, CSUSM Student Code of Conduct, and local and federal laws and regulations. So if you recall, if you're on this call, you are likely the guarantor. And so if you recall, there is that link in there that talks about our housing student handbook. We ask that you sign off that you've read that. And so if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at that, please go back and refer to that. You can also find that on our website at csusm.edu/housing. So by signing that license agreement, all residents have agreed to follow these policies and to be community members in good standing. These are really crucial to make sure that everyone stays safe and that we ensure that the well-being of all residents is in good standing, and really to just create an environment conducive to academic success. If a resident has a question or concern regarding the housing policies, we really do encourage them to speak with their resident advisor or their resident director. Again, that student staff member is going to be their first resource as they meet them at move-in day, and then they get in touch with those folks as we try to create some programming and community building during the weekend in that first week of welcome. And then they'll have their resident director, who is that professional staff that lives on, and they'll likely see them around the area as well. I'll mention that due to FERPA, we aren't allowed to disclose conduct or student concern information to families without a signed release of information from the resident. And so a lot of times, just to give you an example, we have parents that call and say, hey, I'm paying for my student to live there. You got to tell me what's going on with them. Unfortunately, we can't do that without an actual release of that information from your student. And so just know that if you call and we're a little bit limited in the information that we share, it's really because of that federal law. And so if there's a situation where you want to know what is going on with your student's conduct or some information about what has happened within housing, we'll ask that you touch base with your student first, and likely we'll speak to both of you in the same space or get that in writing. Now, if you do have any concerns about your student's safety or well-being, you can always contact the CSUSM Police Department at any time. Excuse me, my dogs are excited. I have someone at the door, but just know that they can be reached at our non-emergency housing number. It's right here on your screen. I encourage you, if you don't have that number written down, to go ahead and jot that down while it's here posted. 760-750-4567 for those that might be just listening in. Again, that is the non-emergency CSUSM Police Department number. It's a non-emergency line, but they'll help direct that call and where that needs to go. I'll say it out loud one more time, just in case. It's 760-750-4567. All right, so if you heard from us during orientation, I'll reiterate one of the more newer required immunizations. The vaccination with meningococcal conjugate is required within the last 4 years for first-time students. If you're not sure if you've met this requirement, go ahead and scan this QR code. This will give you a little bit more information about the requirements outside of just this particular vaccination and how to submit that. If you aren't sure about that, definitely feel free to scan this QR code, and that should help you get some more information around that requirement. All right, so what we kind of all probably tuned in for is just the move-in process. And so please arrive during your scheduled time frame. The quad move-in day is Thursday, August 24th. The UVA and North Commons move-in day is Friday, August 25th. Move-in times will be sent closer to move-in, and because we are closer to move-in, I'll let you know that our plan is to send that out next week. And so you should expect to get an email, or at least your student will get an email that lets them know their move-in time. And so I'll tell you, in general, move-in is scheduled from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But we've given you a specific time based on where you are located in the community. And this is really important. If you could please, as much as possible, stick to that. That helps us in terms of our traffic flow and making sure that our elevators don't break down in the middle of the day. And so we've got that down to a science. And so as much as possible, try to stick to the time that we give you. I know that traffic is going to be a thing. And so sometimes, depending on where you're coming from, it'd be very hard to hit that time specifically. We won't turn you away, but we will ask that if you can, please try to stick to that time frame. Early arrivals, please arrive on the date and by the time you've been assigned. If you haven't been given information, if you've already requested to arrive early, I'll tell you that in those instances, there is a time frame. And so it's something like 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's not a specific hour, but if you aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, but you think that you've requested to come in early, please send us an email or and we'll share our housing email address to you in this chat and on this call. But if you have questions around early arrival, we're here to answer that. But please make sure that you stick to that arrival time and date that you've been given. And if you haven't received it, don't worry, we'll make sure that we get that to you. You are allowed to bring assistance. That's a friend, parent, guardian, sibling to help unload and get settled. It will be pretty crowded in these spaces. And so we'll ask that you not invite the whole family. If you're going to do your goodbyes, especially for those that are first time college students, we want you to do that at home and not bring the whole gang with you. Just bring enough people to help get unpacked and get settled, because it'll get kind of tight in those apartments. Now, UVA residents will be allowed to unload in parking lot O, which is adjacent to the UVA. North Commons residents will be allowed to unload in parking structure 2 on level 1 and 2 directly behind North Commons. So if you're not familiar with the area, if you pull up a map, there is a parking garage right behind North Commons. That's where you're going to unload and actually enter to get your keys. And then quad residents can unload in the church parking lot adjacent to the quad. I'll talk a little bit about that in the next few slides. Don't worry if you're not familiar with what I'm saying. I will ask, because the quad is coming in first on that Thursday ahead of the UVA and North Commons, if you have students with a car, please don't park in parking lot O. We will have signage that asks folks not to park in that lot as we prepare for move-in day at UVA, but just a heads up, overnight parking will be in parking structure 1. So I've just kind of talked about the parking for your particular community. Return trips, so extended parking will require parking in parking structure 1 for UVA, North Commons, and actually the quad. Now on that day, you can, if you're moving into the quad, you can park in parking structure 2, but there is no overnight parking in parking structure 2. Parking structure 2, just to remind you, is the parking garage behind North Commons. Moving carts will be available on site for checkout. We still recommend that you bring your own cart if possible, if you can fit a cart. Those collapsible carts are really great. Now, for our early move-in folks, early arrivals, we will not have moving carts until the 23rd. It's just by nature of the company and vendor that we deal with. And so if you're moving in earlier than the 23rd, then I highly recommend that you bring your own cart if possible, because we won't have those available until that day. And so, it's really just more about our capacity in terms of space and ability to store those without losing them or those walking away ahead of the actual official move-in days. All right, to continue, we've partnered with a vendor, it's USS, University and Student Services. They design living space. And so if you're still like last minute, we don't know what to purchase or how to design the space, they've got some pretty cool pre-made linen bundles that match and all of that. And so they know our dimensions and everything in the rooms. And so you could purchase those ahead of time, any room necessities. And, for those folks that aren't sure about the mini fridge, micro fridge situation at North Commons, we don't provide those. And so feel free to rent those. You can scan the QR code here You could also send your student a specialized care package throughout the year. And so if you want to send them a little bit of encouragement throughout the academic year, you save this website and they'll send that to you. For those that have already rented the micro fridges, those will arrive ahead of move-in. And so they will be in your space before you move in. And so nothing to do for you short of making sure that you contact USS to make sure that you've got the rental payment sent in, but those will be ahead of time and be in the space ahead of time. And so it's a pretty convenient situation in which you don't have to go purchase one or put it in the car or worry about bringing it in and picking it up at move out. I'll tell you that we get a ton of micro fridges after the fact when folks are moving out because they don't have anywhere to put them. And so this is a pretty good option for that. All right, so we'll talk about the move-in locations. If you look at those arrows from this aerial view, these are where the 3 communities are located: North Commons, the Quad, and University Village Apartments. I'm going to highlight a couple of things on this map here. There's Lot O, and so University Village Apartments on that Friday, that's where you'll be parking, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. At the Quad, there's you can see a little cross next to the Quad. That's the Summit Church. You'll be parking directly behind that. And then at North Commons, you'll see parking structure 2. Parking structure 2 is what I was referring to as no overnight parking, but that's where you'll pull in to check in at North Commons. You will not go into the front of the building to get your keys. You're going to pull into that parking garage. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but if you look at the lower part of this map, you'll see parking structure 1, and that is where you will do your extended parking. This is where there's overnight parking. And this is where we're asking folks to pull in and park for the extended part of the day after you drop off all of your goods and get moved in. You're going to move your car to parking structure 1 so other folks that are coming in throughout the day can pull into those other lots. All right, and so for University Village Apartments specifically, parking lot O, this is where you're going to pull in temporarily. You'll get out of the car, you'll go to get your keys, and that's right where that key is located. That's where you'll see some tents. It's in alphabetical order. Your student's going to go out, they're going to have their ID ready, they're going to show it to the staff. We're going to be extremely excited. We're going to say, welcome. We'll give you a little key packet. We'll give you some directions about where your room is located. You'll get to check out a move-out bin there, or excuse me, a move-in bin there. And then after you unload your things from the car, you're going to move the car into parking structure 1 and then go meet your student and the rest of your family as they start to move items in. And so for all of my folks staying at UVA, you're going to pull into that lot. You'll park there temporarily. We give you about 20 minutes to unload, take the things out of the car, and then move the car up to parking structure 1. All right, for North Commons, again, this is Friday. You're gonna pull in at North City Drive into that parking structure. You're not even going to get out of the car. We're gonna just you're gonna give you your key as you pull into that structure. We'll have staff along the side of the street there and leading up to it, asking you what your student's name is so we can get your key ready before you pull up. And we'll hand your key to you. You'll pull into that parking structure. We're limited to the 1st and 2nd floors. Again, because this is on a Friday, we have other staff and retail parking in that garage. And so please be considerate of that. We'll be using floors 1 and 2. You'll pull in, we'll give you your key. There will be a section that has the move-in bins for you to check out. And then what you'll do is walk out of that garage on the June Way side and enter North Commons. We'll have balloons on that entrance. And so just be aware that if you decide to park outside of that garage as you come in, you'll need to get into the garage to get your key. I recommend that you just go ahead and pull in. Because North Commons and UVA have the same move-in day, you won't really avoid traffic if you park up on campus ahead and walk down. And so our recommendation is to go ahead and pull into the garage from North City Drive to get your key at check-in. I'll tell you, we had tons of people just walk into the front door and say, we're here to check in. And we had to send them back out to go to the garage. And so I want to give you that heads up now to just go ahead and pull in. That'll be the easiest way. You go in, get your key, unload the car, and then walk out and into the building. We want to try to make it as convenient as possible for folks. All right, and then for the quad, so where that car is located on this map is where you will pull in. You will pull in through North City Drive and go straight to that lot as you cross Riddell Road. The top of that, or the bottom of that key is on the R there. But when you pull into that parking lot, same deal. You'll have about 20 minutes. You'll get out of the car, check in right there in the back of the quad lot. We'll give the key. You'll have the opportunity to check out a move-in bin. Then you'll go back into that lot, unload your car, then come back into the quad where that key is located and enter the community. All the folks that are in that lot will ask you to go ahead and move out of the lot on Riddell Road and then drive up to the parking structure 1. Again, what I want to make sure you understand is that as we have people coming in, we'll ask you to move the car because this is a full day event and we can't have folks sitting in that lot. And so as much as possible, we'll give you a placard for that 20 minutes. If you need more time, we'll give you that. But we want you to be conscious that other folks are still trying to get into that lot and it only has so many spaces. And so we'll ask that you unload pretty quickly, move out of that lot, and you'll go up to parking structure 1 for overnight. But during that day, you will be able to park in parking structure 2 for just kind of an extended period of time. And that's out of convenience, but we don't want you to park there overnight. All right, and so all residents, and this is more of the residential education side of the house where we'll have folks after you've essentially moved in, all residents will be attending a mandatory floor meeting with their resident advisor and the resident director the evening of move-in. Now, their assigned time will be shared with them on move-in day. The RAs, those resident advisors, are going to be helping with move-in, and so they will make sure that they get in touch with your student. Now, on Friday, it'll be 7 and 8 p.m., the UVA and North Commons floor meetings. On Saturday, and I'll have to double check because we have move-in on that Thursday, but I believe on Saturday they might have moved their quad floor meetings on that Saturday just to make sure they catch the majority of folks, 6 and 7 p.m. And so just keep that in mind. If that changes, the RAs will let your student know. Now on Saturday from 8:30 p.m. to midnight, residents will come to our night of CSUSM Campus Spirit and Traditions, a really fun way to kick off the new academic year. They'll meet with their RA and they'll walk them up to that event. On Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we'll invite the residents to join CSUSM's official welcome event. The RAs will also, again, be meeting them at a space and walking them up so they don't have to feel like, oh, I don't know anything about that. They'll walk up, they'll get to meet other folks on their floor. More importantly, they'll get to meet their RA. Again, another fun event. And then on Sunday at 4 p.m., UVA and North Commons at 4, and then at 6 at the Quad, residents will hear from a campus speak on sexual violence prevention. Now, this is a mandatory event for all residents, and so the RAs will be in touch with the students to make sure that they attend that. And they'll walk them to that event as well. Now, on Sunday at 8 p.m., this is a little bit of more of a social situation. Residents will get to join us poolside to enjoy a movie under the stars at the Dive-In movie. This is always a really successful event. This is a really just a fun way right before classes start on Monday for students to get together, hang out, watch a movie, eat some food, and just kind of relax right before the start of the academic year. So now I'm going to pass this over to my colleague in campus dining, Brenda Hovis, and she's got some really great information for folks on where to eat. And if you have questions about dining or need some more specifics, she's got the answers for you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, my name is Brenda Hovis. I am the Commercial Services Manager for CSUSM. and I manage dining, catering, things of that nature, as well as other establishments on campus. Today, I'm going to hop right into our campus dining. Every student should first and foremost download the app, the CSUSM app. There is so much information on there, from dining, of course, but maps of the campus, where to park, many things. One of the things I wanted to point out to you right now was what's open, right? People are always wondering, where can I eat? Well, the app has this feature here under dining. Once you click on dining, it opens up a new tab, and then you scroll down until you get to the dining hours. Those dining hours I keep updated myself. They're updated weekly, and on there it'll say when is something open next. Also, if you click on like Campus Coffee, for instance, which is the first one listed, you will see a menu for that location. So if your student is wondering, oh, what do they serve there? Now you know, there's a little bit of a menu on each one of those. So that is what's open. The next question would be, where do I go? So where to eat? Here's our campus. Campus Way Cafe, which is in the upper right corner, is actually located across the street from campus, and it's right underneath the quad dorm. To the left of that building is actually North Commons, so it kind of gives you an idea of where the dining hall is with comparison to North Commons and the quad. And then directly across the street, right under where it says Campus Way, is actually the UVA dorm. So it's not very far at all for your students to make their way to our dining hall. Also on campus, we have a USU dining pavilion. It's inside the USU, our University Student Union. Many clubs and things are also in there. On one side of the USU, it's kind of shaped ironically like a U. I guess it's not very ironic, but anyway, we have Panda Express in our dining pavilion. We have Qdoba, Hilltop Bistro, and Get Fresh. On the other side, the other corridor on the other side, we have Crash's Cafe, and we're renaming our USU market to Crash's Market. And inside the market, we have Kika Sushi, which from what I understand is very, very good. I have not made it up there yet to try it, but it's supposed to be quite tasty. We have Starbucks, which is right on the corner of our Kellogg Library. It's right in the heart of campus. And then Campus Coffee is actually a private coffee cart. This particular location does not take our meal plan. No dining dollars can be used there, just card or cash. Okay. Meal plan. The benefits of a meal plan. It's an easy way for your student to eat. Let's just put it like that, right? Carrying cash and credit card. Most kids have that. This just makes it very simple. I have another slide that I'll show you in a second, but basically your cell phone in that CSUSM app that I had mentioned prior, at the top of the home screen, there is an icon that says View ID. And that View ID, when you click on that, it pops open a QR code with your picture on it, and then a QR code. And that is what they will scan at the register. I do recommend when students who do have a meal plan go up to a register, they specify what they're using. This QR code will also house the meal swipes, which I'll get into in a second for meal plan. And it'll also be dining dollars and Cougar Cash. When a student goes up to the register, if they say, oh, I'm going to use Cougar Cash today, it's a good habit to get into because they have to pick that tender on their register. There has been some confusion in the past where students have gone up, showed the QR code without stating, you know, I'm here with a swipe, or I'm here for dining dollars, and they've been turned away because it says they don't have any dining dollars or swipe or whatever it is they chose to use. And that's not typically the case. They just have to choose the right tender. So it's very important that the students, I'm going to use a swipe today. Awesome. Just a good habit to be in. And then there's no question about what the person behind the register is supposed to use. Eating on campus saves time for students. When you do buy a meal plan, the meal plan rates are different, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's say that lunch is $15.49 plus tax. If you were to purchase a meal plan, the number of meals you purchase is a discounted rate based on what the door rate is. And it's hard to say how much you're saving right this very second, because it depends on how many meals you're actually purchasing up front. But there is a cost savings to have a meal plan. You're not paying the door price, you're paying less. Let's see here. You can reduce gas, groceries, and eating out. That's another thing that you can use. Campus Way Cafe, like we had shown on the map, is our main dining hall for meal swipes. It will be open on move-in day, August 25th. August 25th, which is Friday, will be open for brunch. Brunch will be open from 10 to 12. Dinner will be open from 5 to 8. So that will mark the opening of the dining hall for normal business hours throughout the school year. The standard hours are listed below. Saturday, Sunday is brunch and dinner, just like you're seeing on August 25th. And then Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. is breakfast, 11 to 2 is lunch, and 5 to 8 is dinner in the dining hall. North Commons has a mandatory meal plan. We have this because there are no kitchens inside of North Commons. The three options for North Commons residents are the Cougar Blue, the Tukwut, and the PAW plan. Please select a meal plan by August 20th. If your student shows up on move-in day and does not have a meal plan, we will not give the keys to your student. It's important that we have all of this information noted and accounted for before you come in to get your keys. Those three meal plans, and I'll get in a little more detail in the next one with what the difference is between each of those. There are two ways to sign up for a meal plan. One would be on our dining website in the URL. The URL is on here, csusm.edu/dining. Or on the app. Once again, this dining app is proven to be very useful in many ways. If you click on the dining icon again, which was the fork and the knife, and you scroll down, it says manage your campus meal plan right here. If when you click on manage your campus meal plan, I know it doesn't say purchase, but it's the same link to get to purchase. Your student can log on there. They have to re-log in with their CSUSM email and password, because they are going to an external site to pick their meal plan. Once they pick their meal plan on this site or online, you will not see that show up into their student account until the next day, because it batches at night. Once it's in your student account, then you can pay for it at that point. You can put yourself on a payment plan. It is up to you. Let's see here. If you do live in North Commons, you should not be able to pick any plan but Cougar Blue, Tukwut, or PAW plan. Okay. We also have a Follow Dining's opt-in channel. It's on this screenshot of the app right there. The arrow is pointing to it. This will enable your student to get pushes that we send through. We might send in pushes that say, hey, you know, we're having a special at the dining hall today. Or, hey, why don't you come and do something special, like they have theme nights. We're going to have theme nights at the dining hall and things of that nature. Or we had a huge catering event and we have leftover food. If you have a Tupperware container, come on and grab some food. Things like that we may have, or a pop-up or two. There's a bunch of things we could possibly do. So adding that opt-in channel is a good idea. Plus we can remind students through there that, hey, you need to pick your meal plan for spring, because meal plans are only for one semester. Let's see here. There are payment plans available, and I told you how to show your ID. We also have CalFresh, which is through ASI, or Associated Students. If for some reason you need to talk with somebody with regards to CalFresh, ASI has the ability to help you sign up with that. We do offer assistance with having CalFresh in place of the other three main meal plans. You have to have a approved CalFresh plan, and it has to have your student's name on it. So they would have to apply in San Diego County for CalFresh. Once we receive that, you can submit an exemption, and then they would get a CalFresh acceptable meal plan, which actually is the Flex plan. Let's see here. Okay, if you want to go to the next, and then I can kind of run through some questions too, if you need me to. Okay, meal plans. Here are the meal plans that we do offer. The top three are the Cougar Blue, the Tuquet, and the PAW. These are 4 North Commons. The Cougar Blue is 19 meals per week with $75 dining dollars. 19 meals per week means every time the dining hall is open, you will be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. 99% of the meal swipes are done at the dining hall. On campus, we have 2 locations in the dining pavilion that offer a meal swipe for lunch. Hilltop Bistro has a burger, I think it's a burger, fries, and a drink. And then Get Fresh used to have a chicken Caesar salad. I believe we're adding pizza to that area as well. So it could be pizza and a salad. We haven't defined that just yet, but there usually is 2 options for lunch on campus that you can use a swipe with. Other than that, all of those locations will use dining dollars. So dining dollars operate like cash, dollar for dollar. They're taken at any location on campus with the exception of campus coffee. If for some reason you run out of dining dollars, you can always add Cougar Cash. Cougar Cash is added the same way that you would add a meal plan, but instead you pick Cougar Cash to add. And as a parent, you can add Cougar Cash. You don't have to log in. You just need to have your student's number. So if you have your student's number, you can go to the dining website, you can go to Manage Meal Plan, and you can click Cougar Cash. You put in your student's student ID number, and then you use a credit card to pay for that. And then that Cougar Cash will show up on the student ID for your student to use. And Cougar Cash and dining dollars are used interchangeably. They're both dollar for dollar, and you can use them anywhere on campus, including Campus Way Cafe. You just can't use them at Campus Coffee, which is the privately owned institution. Meals per week. I kind of spoke a little bit about meal swipes being used at Campus Coffee. Those would be the meals per week associated with the Cougar Blue, the Tuquet, and the PAW. Also the Flex. For a block meal plan, you start off with 50 meals at the beginning of the semester, and as you use one, it goes down, right? So you've used one, now you have 49 blocks for the semester, and it goes that way. You're allowed 1 meal plan a semester. If you do start the semester and let's say you pick the social and your kid is going crazy and wants to eat there every meal, you can upgrade a meal plan. You just can't downgrade a meal plan. Okay, I think I've covered a lot of information. I'm going to look real quick because I think a few questions had come through, and if I can help answer any of those for you guys, I will do so in the chat. No, I'm not seeing them. I don't know why I can't see them, but I cannot see them. Okay, I'll have to respond to you guys when I can get in there to answer your questions. But I will be responding. If you have put a question in there, I will go and respond to you. I'll hit reply and respond to your question as we move on to the next presenter.
Hi, everyone. My name's Dawn. Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brenda.
Let me mute.
It's okay. You're good? Okay. My name is Donna Davis, and I am the director of the wonderful Cougar Care Network here at CSUSM. And we have a team of staff ready to help you, the wonderful new students at our institution. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of us. Some of you might have heard of us before. We help students connect with resources, support, and we offer advocacy to them for any personal, academic, financial, or other challenges that they may be facing. So we had over 3,000 referrals sent to us last year. So you can tell we are a busy office, and we are happy to serve you. So if you run into some problems, for example, with a professor, let's say that you get ill and you're going to be out for a week or so, and you need some help advocating for some extra time. If you don't know how to do that and you just need someone to guide you, that's something that we can help you with. Or if your car breaks down and you need a little bit of extra cash to help repair perhaps like a broken muffler or something like that, and it's a modest amount, we can give you access to an emergency fund that may be able to assist you. So those are examples of things that we do. There are several ways to connect with us. There's the QR code. I encourage you to take a photo of this page and our web page on the left side. The QR code will bring you right to our web page, and that's where you'll be able to fill out a self-referral form so students can refer themselves. They also can just walk right into the Dean of Students office. That's where we're located, or call us or email us. That's again all on this website. Or your faculty or parent or family member could refer you, and there's a referral form in general for that. We just ask that if family members are referring students, that you give the student a heads up so that they know that that's going to be occurring, and then we'll reach out. And then also on that same webpage are some wonderful resources that you can check out. For example, there's some helplines, places to connect with other local food pantries, including our own food pantry, ways to sign up for a program called Swipe Out Hunger, which would enable you to get up to 10 free meals on campus each semester through our office as well. So those are examples of things that we do, and that's what would be located on those resources, the resources portion of our page. And lastly, we do hope that you might consider following us on Instagram. That's on the right side of your screen right now. Thank you for that, Jay. Please follow us, because we do offer nice reminders throughout the year and some funny posts, and it's getting more and more popular here. But basically, we want you to remember we exist, because we want to be able to help you. We want to make sure that you know that we're here to do that. And especially if you follow us, you'll keep in mind like, oh yeah, that's the office that might be able to help me with this concern. Or, oh, they're always saying nice, encouraging words. Maybe they'll be able to make me feel better. So please, please make sure that you consider Cougar Care, reach out to us, and we are happy to assist you. And welcome to CSU SM.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? All right, perfect. So my name is Juliana Goodlaw Morris, and I'm the Sustainability Manager here at Cal State San Marcos. And we just wanted to hop on here to share a couple of things, mainly ways that you can save money for your students as you're moving in and you're getting everything ready to go before move-in. So we have a variety of available free for all students that are moving into the dorms. Things like pots, pans, plates, silverware, everything that you can think of as it relates to moving in. We actually do a whole move out process at the end of move out when your students are moving out in the spring. We collect all the usable items, we store them over the summer, and we re-gift them back out in the fall. And so we will have pop-up tents at both Quad and UVA. We won't be at North Commons just because you don't have kitchens there so much. So this is mostly kitchen item type stuff that we will have available, again, free. If you forgot that can opener, we may have that. If you forgot, you know, you realize you just need a couple more forks, you know, a knife, what have you. These are all gently used items for students. And so we obviously recommend that you wash them before you use them, but we have gone through and literally hand picked every item that we wanted to keep through move out and gift them back out to you as students, to your students in the fall. And so just know that we are trying to get to zero waste here on campus, which means that we are trying to reduce the amount of waste going to the landfill by 90% by 2025, which means that your students will be on campus when we hopefully reach that goal. That means that we encourage all students to recycle what they can recycle, compost what they can compost, and landfill at the last resort. We also are partnering with the Cougar Care Network, and the Cougar Question Mart is what it's called. During the first week of school, students will have the ability to get free dorm supplies and free like notebooks and folders and binders and pens and pencils, and all of that stuff will be at the different Cougar Question Marts, which are located throughout campus for the first week. Again, if they forgot a binder or if they need a notepad and they just didn't have it on hand, we will have a whole bunch available for them to grab for free during that first week. We should also have some of those supplies at move in as well. We offer a variety of opportunities for students to also get free clothing. We do a Cougar Thrifts a couple of times each semester. And so we encourage students to not only come and grab a new jacket or a new pair of clothes, and I say new, but gently used, and in turn, if they have clothes that they no longer wear, that they brought and they thought they were going to wear, but they want to donate, then they can to us, gift them back out during these events. And so we really are here to support students. We also offer internships, service learning opportunities, and some more of a curricular and co-curricular opportunities for students to get involved while they're a student on campus. But please encourage your students to use reusable water bottles on campus. We have hydration stations located all over campus, including in the UVA and North Commons. We're working on the quad. But on main campus, we have over 45 hydration stations in every building and almost on every floor for students to get filtered and chilled water. And so we encourage you to encourage your students to bring their water bottles. It's kind of a fashion, a statement on campus. Everyone has their bottles with stickers on them. And so we just encourage folks to use reusable items, reusable water bottles. And if they are living in the quad and UVA, we do have available free items for them. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask or put in the chat, but we will be, like I said, located at Move In at the quad and at North Common, or at quad and UVA. And don't hesitate to swing by and grab an item here or there. Like, it's usually the parents that come and grab stuff. Students tend to be a little bit shy when it comes to taking free items, but feel free to come and swing by and grab whatever you may need, and also coordinate with the roommates that your students will be moving in with, so that you don't have an abundance of pots and pans or plate silverware. So I think that's it. I'm gonna pass it on. Thank you.
We've got our University Police Department representative speaking. May have had to address a question in the campus community. Let's see. Leo is on the call. Give me one moment. I see him on the call. May have had to step away to address a campus safety issue. Jay Franklin here, Associate Director of New Student Family Programs. So it looks like I'll speak on University Police Department information. Yes, our campus officers are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. 911 dispatch services. They're responsible for patrolling the campus and surrounding a 1 mile radius around the campus. Common crimes on campus, from what I've heard from UPD, or University Police Department, is basic theft. There is a emergency notification system that you as a parent can opt in, or a family member or guest of a student. We have, the campus has community service officers, the folks right here in gray. There are safety escorts provided by University Police Department. This is where the official lost and found is at Cal State San Marcos. So if your student loses something or you yourself while visiting, all those items are brought to our University Police Department for the lost and found. Of course, they assist and investigate traffic accidents. Information for our University Police Department for contacting them. Their contact information is here. The non-emergency number is the one that you all should put into your phone. It's 760-750-4567. That's also the same number your student should put in their phone should they require a safety escort. I'm going to turn this over to my friend Maritza from Parking and Commuter Services.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, you're good.
Sounds good. So my name is Maritza. I am with Parking and Commuter Services. Just a fun fact about us, we are 100% completely self-support. So we actually get no state funding at all. So all of our revenue comes from, it's all parking related permits, any fees, any fines that are, unfortunately happen on campus. And everything is paid for by parking. So all the maintenance that happens, all the lighting down to just regular maintenance of getting the power washing done on each of the lots, that is all paid by us. And we get no state funding for that, unfortunately. So let's see our next slide. Okay, so we have a few different payment options for permits. Our first two options here are the pay stations and mobile payment. These ones are typically used for visitors and daily guests that just come by. We have hourly options at these various different hours. So if you come just for an hour or two, if you're just coming for the day, we do have those available. The third option on here is parking account for your students. So each of your students has an account that is already created for them. So there is nothing that they need to create. They'll log in using their CSUSM email and password. They'll have the option to purchase their permit here. So their options as they are living on campus is to purchase either the semester option, which is a $338, as well as the academic year. They can also access this either through the web or through their CSUSM app, which I'm hoping that they all have. But yeah, that is basically our part of that. So if you have any questions on how to purchase permits for your visitors, please give us a call. We can help walk you through it. And we'll help you give you the best area as to where to park. Let's see. Okay, so this map does show you all of our parking lots where your permits will be valid. All these black circles on that map itself, those ones are general spaces where general spaces are allowed. These blue circles on here, these are the lots that your students will want to pay attention to, as these are the lots that we have overnight parking in. So for parking structure 2, that is right behind North Commons, it is not allowing for overnight parking currently. So if at any point in time it changes, we will let any notice out to the students. Let's talk about the fall semester permits. So those ones are $338, as mentioned before. These ones allow for overnight parking. So again, you'll want to make sure your student parks in Lot O, parking structure 1, Lot N, Lot K. In regards to move-in weekend, parking will be complimentary starting Thursday, and it will be ending Sunday at 6 p.m. So after Sunday, you'll want to make sure if you are coming to campus and visiting, you do have a valid paid parking session. So again, that's where you'll want to utilize either the pay stations that we have on campus or the QR codes that we have. Let's see. So we have and also a 2-hour lot on here, which is our Lot L. It is close. It is a small lot, but they can only park there 2 hours per day. Parking structure 2, again, is closed between the hours of 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. So if at any point, your student is able to park there during the day, they definitely can and utilize that. They just want to make sure that they are out of the structure by 2 a.m. And park overnight in parking structure 1 or any of the other zones that we have highlighted in blue. So that's that part of it. If you want to go to the next slide, I believe. Okay, so a big thing, parking tickets happen. A lot of the time, it is an issue of license plate being incorrectly entered or your student parking overnight where they shouldn't be. Please just make sure you are aware of all the signage around each lot. You do have the option of appealing your ticket. So that's you filing the ticket within 21 days that the ticket is given. So you have the option to appeal or to pay it. So what this means is that, if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will receive a $100 refund. So if you appeal, you will recei if your student happens to get a ticket, they have those options available. They can always come and talk to us, say, hey, I don't understand why I got this. Can you help me explain it? By all means, we are more than happy to help you out as much as possible, give you all your options and see where we can go from there. These are real tickets. I do want to stress that. So if your student just ends up having to get a ticket and they decide, hey, it's not a real ticket, I'm not going to do anything with it, they can actually get a CSUSM hold, which will put a hold on their classes so they will not be able to register for classes for the next semester. As well as it can also result in a DMV hold, meaning parents, if you guys are the registered owners of the vehicles, you will not be able to register your vehicle that next year until that fee is paid. Okay, so we also have some commuter programs on campus. So if your student is choosing not to bring a car, totally fine. We always recommend that your student get a feel for getting to know San Marcos, getting to see, everything that our wonderful city has to offer. We have bike programs. So if they bring a bike, we have some bike lockers available that they can rent out through the semester and they can keep their bike there stored, as well as we have some bike locks. If they need to use one just for a day, we can definitely have that available. We have transit passes. This is something that is very new in regards to having the Youth Opportunity Pass. So any of your students that are 18 years and under, they actually get to ride free with Pronto. So we do have the link in our parking services website that they can actually go on, get onto it with MTS, register for a free pass, and they can actually use it all throughout North County and San Diego. So if your students are, again, not having their vehicle here, totally fine. We always recommend wait that first month, feel it out, get to know your groove, explore a little bit. You can take the Sprinter from Cal State over to Oceanside and then come back. It's every 30 minutes, I believe, that they're able to get a ride on it. So by all means, please use that so you get to get that feel of being a new San Marcos student. For those that also do not have the choice not to bring their vehicle, we have Zipcar. So Zipcar is actually a rental car service, basically, where your student can rent out the vehicle about $10 an hour. I believe it's about $69 to about $80 a day if they want to use it. This does include gas, insurance, maintenance, and 180 miles a day. So if your student wants to just go road tripping for the day, they can definitely do that. All they need is their valid license. And that's basically it. Their student email address that they'll register it with. But a lot of our students actually tend to use it when they're just using it and going to the grocery store for an hour or down the street and they need, just a ride, easy way, they can definitely use it. So those are our commuter programs. Let's see. Our next slide. And then we are, again, located within the University Police Department building. We are the first people that you'll see as soon as you come in. Please, if you guys have any questions, put them down in the chat. I can definitely answer them as much as possible. Or give us a call, or if you have any questions, just email them in. We can answer them right away. We have our social media on here. We always are giving any updates that we have. So if there's a lot closure, if there is traffic coming, your students will know of everything that is happening right away. As soon as we know, they'll know. So if there is anything that you guys have, just let us know and we can definitely help out with as much as possible.
And this is me. So from New Student Family Programs, we want to invite all families to attend the New Student Family Convocation, which will be held August 26th at 9 a.m. in our Sports Center. Please scan the QR code if you're interested in attending. This is definitely an opportunity to speak from campus leaders and connect with families and students that you may have met during orientation. It's definitely the beginning of their academic journey. It's the book cover. It starts off that journey, and then of course the end is graduation and closing that book. So yeah, please consider attending the New Student Family Convocation and scan the QR code. Other family programs and communications that we do, we definitely have a monthly webinar series that's featured on Zoom. The topics will be on our website and new student family programs, family webinar series. We will be hosting the next opportunity for you as a family member to visit our campus will be the Family Weekend, which is a strategic point in the first semester where students definitely would appreciate, if they're seeking it, some opportunities to connect with their family. It's October 13th through the 15th. The RSVP will be available in late August. If you haven't already visited our website and seen our opportunity to join our monthly newsletter, please click on that link and add your information, and we'll be able to put you on our listserv for those newsletters. And of course, our website is the #1 place to get all things new student family programs. You may have seen this slide during summer orientations, during our in-person orientations. There is a difference between enabling and empowering. So you're the first person your student is going to turn to, no matter what we do as a university. Whatever frustrations they may have will land on your shoulders, and we just encourage you to empower your student to redirect them to come to the campus housing or new student family programs to ask the question and help them grow and advocating for themselves. More specifically, we want you to encourage your student to look for those resources and support on campus. I'm sure you want to assist your student and help them find the resources for them, but we really want your student to find that what they're seeking on our website. If they can't find it on our website, they certainly can address or contact the new student family programs, the front desks of our campus resources and our campus partners. We want them to directly connect with our RAs, faculty and staff. Oftentimes our students are maybe frustrated with faculty or an assignment, and your student's going to have, especially if they're full-time, 4 or 5 classes, and each of those faculty members will have their own expectations of your student. Some faculty will just hand them a syllabus on the first day with a detailed schedule of assignments, and that's the only time that faculty member will ever discuss when things are due. And some of your students might not be familiar with putting stuff into a planner. This is where faculty are going to hold them accountable and basically say, on the first day of class, I gave you that syllabus, which was the contract for my class. And we're hopeful to help your student learn their time management skills. Of course, you can contact housing, who's the star feature of this call this evening, if they need to review the license agreement or housing policies in detail. And yeah, we really hope that your student will, in the first 2 weeks of attending and living on campus, they're going to miss you, and of course your family, your home. But please discourage them in those first 2 weeks, because we're trying to help them find that sense of independence and help them, get their sea legs, help them explore the world as an independent young adult. We're hopeful that you'll discourage them from coming back home in the first 2 weeks. Of course, we've got lots of events in the weeks of welcome. And of course, convocation kicks that off. Actually, MIU kicks it off for your student. So that Friday night on August 25th from late hours of 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Of course, those are early hours for your students. MIU is Hello in Luiseño. So it's the annual tradition for Cal State San Marcos. Of course, I've mentioned it a couple of times. If you haven't already, please consider signing up for the new student family convocation, which is Saturday, August 26th. That starts at 9 a.m. Followed by community family welcomes for right after the new student family convocation. Of course, there's a dive-in movie for students that Sunday evening. Our social media, of course, we probably are going to need a handle for Threads, but these are our social media addresses. To contact us, this will be an important slide. housing and residential education. There's their contact information, new student family programs, and of course the Dean of Students office. I'll go back to the slide. I think I have 2 more slides after this. Actually, just 1 more slide after this. Okay, so I'll go back to the contact us page in a second, but let me make sure that I have unmuted everybody's ability. I have allowed you to unmute yourself. So if you've got a question, to please raise your hand. So you'll have the ability to turn your microphone and your camera on and off. Be sure to click the participants button as listed on the screen to raise your hand. That's when the raise your hand feature will pop up. And then I'll be able to call your name out, and you can certainly ask your question. We have over 100+ folks on this call, so I don't want everybody speaking all at once. And of course, as you've noticed in chat, you can certainly ask your questions in chat. A few of us will be able to assist behind the scenes to answer chat. So anyone want to raise your hand? I know we're at 7:10 and this call should end around 7:30 to respect our hosts, our folks from housing and everybody else, all my co-presenters this evening. So ask away. It looks like I have give me 1 second. We have Francisco and Linda. Go
Hi.
ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I think I asked this question on the chat box, but I don't know if it was answered. So basically, my son is staying in the North Commons, and it allowed me to enroll him into the Flex Plan meal plan.